These are 10 things that you need to stop doing in 2024 that is keeping you poor. Whether you're in your early 20s or maybe approaching 30 and have a family like me, there is always room to improve your money habits. Whether you're starting from the bottom of the bottom, the middle, the top, whatever, habits are going to be the foundation of everything. This is the first habit that you need to stop doing, and that is buying things impulsively on a whim whenever you want it. You see it on an ad, you want it. You see it on an Instagram feed, you want it. You see someone else that has it, you want it, and then you go and buy it. And that is a nice way to get things that you don't actually need, that you end up using one time and never seeing it ever again. That maybe it shows up at your door in a box and you're like, why'd I buy this? Buying things impulsively is just a way for you to feel good about the act of buying it, and that is the gratification of it. The act of buying it gives you the dopamine, not necessarily the thing itself providing value to you. An example would be like a pair of shoes. I have a pair of Hoka shoes that I bought because it looked really nice. I saw it and I was like, ooh, white shoes, really pretty. Ooh, so I bought it, and I still use them because they're shoes. Shoes are valuable, but they're not like super comfortable. They're not even a brand that I really like, and not a brand that I really use, but hey, they look cool, I guess. They're functional enough. Buying things impulsively is a recipe for your money to go from up here to down here really quick without you even realizing that it's disappearing. One way to get around this is to impose a rule that you wait a certain amount of time before actually buying it. I have a list of wants, and if I see something that I want, I'll write that down. And if I end up forgetting about it, then it gets deleted from the thing because I didn't actually want it that bad or need it that badly anyways. If you do remember it after like 2 or 3 days and you still want the thing, then that might be a good time to really ask yourself, like, do I want the thing? What's it gonna add value into my life for? And can I afford it? It's a big one. So that's one thing. Impose a 48 or 72 hour rule after you write down the thing that you want. The second habit keeping you poor is always upgrading to the next best thing, whether you need it or not. A good example would be an iPhone. Every year there is the iPhone 15, 16, 17, 18, and on and on and on. And each year you probably don't need the next upgrade. The same goes for cameras, MacBooks, cars, PCs, pretty much anything technology can be upgraded every year. Every year gets better and better and better, but that upgrade is minuscule compared to the actual cost of the upgrade, which can be quite a lot. Like if you bought a computer 2 years ago, it's probably still pretty good for the next 5 to 6 to 7 years, depending on what you're using it for. If your computer is like the way that you make money or you edit videos for a living, you game for a living, you Twitch stream, you're a content creator, and you need a really fast computer year after year after year, maybe it makes sense. But sometimes it's okay to just be happy with what you have. Habit number 3 that's keeping you poor is spending money to hang out with other people, spending money to hang out with your friends, going to the bar every weekend, going to expensive restaurants, or paying for outings that you don't really need to pay for, that aren't really new experiences for you. For example, like just going to a restaurant and ordering drinks every weekend when you could do something similar at home instead. I would say that is not as valuable as paying for an experience like going out for bowling or axe throwing or karaoke. Like those things make sense to spend money, whereas eating and drinking is something that has other alternatives. I mean, you could karaoke at home. I doubt you're gonna bowl at home, and you're definitely not gonna throw axes in your living room. Don't recommend that. Habit number 4 that is keeping you poor is spending your money without saving or investing it first. Now, we all know that saving money is not the end all be all, and it's not going to make you a millionaire. However, it does give you a safety net for you to buy back your time. So now you have freedom of time where you can do work that will raise your income ceiling. I know people at a previous job who they first got their job and already they allotted a large percentage of each paycheck month by month to a new like Mazda sports car. It's one of those little ones that look sort of toy-like, but it looks cool. It looks cool. And then they get that taken out of their paycheck every month for 6 years. But guess what? He didn't stop there. He bought a motorcycle too. So that's percentage allotted to the car, another percentage allotted to the motorcycle, and then there's expenses, groceries, all those things. And now there's not much left at the end of it for saving. So instead of doing that, you can allot a percentage to saving instead of to spending. And after that, you can spend on utilities, expenses, groceries, fun money, play money, all that stuff. But you've already saved aside a percentage there, so that now you don't have to worry about it. Habit number 5 is not tracking your spending at all and sort of just going YOLO with it and being like, hey, I got the money to buy that pair of leggings, I got the money for that watch, I've got the money for that phone or whatever, and just not really being aware of where your money is going. Maybe you don't even know how much your electricity bill is. Maybe you're so rich that it doesn't matter. If that's the case, then I don't know why you're watching this video, because you're doing great. For us normal people, knowing how much your mortgages or your car payment or your insurance or just having a ballpark number of how much you're spending every month can be helpful for not letting your lifestyle creep up slowly at a time. If you do YOLO and your 5K a month becomes 8K a month, becomes 11K a month, and it's like that lifestyle inflation is going off the charts. But if every month you're like, oh, I spent 5 here, 6 here, back to 5, 6 again, 4 here, you might be going like this, but the trajectory, the average is pretty much level. So you're doing all right. Habit number 6 that's keeping you poor is not paying off your credit cards by their statement balance every month. This is a crazy one because credit cards have some crazy high interest rates. I think it's like 17% or something. If you don't pay the entire statement balance, that gets interest on top of it that you have to pay more next month, which it's a large number, and you can go down into the debt sinkhole, pothole, black hole very quickly, and it's hard to get out of it because you're not making a ton to even be making up for that interest, but there's already the credit card debt on top of that. Anyways, if you want your credit score to go up, then pay your statement balance every month. Before you even swipe your card, know that you have the money in like a bank account or a debit card to pay that off, and that you're not overspending on your credit. All right, the next habit that is keeping you poor is comparing yourself to others and wanting what others have, and not really wanting things because you yourself is finding value in the thing. This is something new, I would say, that is popping up because of the internet now, that we can now see what other people have that is not just in our close vicinity, where it's not just family, friends, and acquaintances, I don't know, co-workers, things like that. Instead, we can see what someone else all across the world and who knows where is owning and doing with their stuff, what they're buying, what they're wearing, how much money they're making, what they look like, etc. And they say comparison is the thief of joy. It's true. You might have everything. You might have a nice house, a nice car. You'll have clothes you like, but because you are exposed to so many different people, it's really easy to compare yourself to others and to not think that you have enough. So a way to combat this is, 1, either don't expose yourself to other people, which is crazy. I don't actually recommend that one. I don't think it's feasible. But number 2 is just defining what is enough for you. Does your enough actually include a nice car, a nice phone, a dream house, a beach, a pool, brand name clothes, things like that? Or like, what is enough for you, and what does an ideal life look like, and what does it include, what does it not include? If it doesn't include all those other things, then there's really no need to compare yourself to others and to want what they have in terms of those categories. The next habit that's keeping you poor is subscription services that you don't actually value or use. For example, there are a ton of TV services and watching videos on demand services. There's Netflix, HBO, Disney Plus, and the list goes on and on and on and on. However, you're probably not watching a show from every one of those every single month, so you're being overcharged for paying for all of them. Recently, we pretty much cut out every subscription except for Spotify because our daughter needs to listen to very specific songs that cheer her up when she's tired. When you get charged for a subscription every month, when that charge comes in, ask yourself, did I use that last month? And if not, you probably can cut it out. All right, the next one is not being prepared for emergencies when they happen. This relates to the credit one, because when you do have an emergency, let's say you get into a car crash, but you don't have enough money to repair your car, therefore you repair it on credit, but you don't have enough money to pay that statement balance off, and then you get into debt and things like that. So just having an emergency fund here and there, a couple $1,000s, enough to cover a mediumly tragic event like a car crash or a broken leg, or I don't know, it could be anything. That's why it's called an emergency fund. You can't expect what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. You just want to have that money set aside somewhere, and you never touch it. All right, the last habit that's keeping you poor, which I think is probably the most important one, is being content with who you are and not trying at all to improve your skills or learn new things or try to make any more money. Just you're at the job you're at, you're happy, you're okay getting that small promotion year after year, but you're not really searching for more outside of that. You're gonna be stuck in your job. You're one layoff away from a disaster. You might have a stable income now, you might be saving all the money, but because you're not learning new skills, you're not improving yourself, if there ever is a day where you lose that job, it will be hard to make more money. Then you might fall into a deep dark hole. Always be improving, always be learning new skills. It could be sales, it could be content, it could be writing, podcasts, anything. There are web design, coding, there are a ton of skills that you can learn on the side, online, through books, through courses, whatever. As long as you are improving yourself and increasing the value that you can provide to the world, you'll always have a job somewhere, or you'll make a job for yourself. So I've been able to save money and make enough money to quit my full-time job just after a year of working, and we are able to work for ourselves. Me and my husband were able to stay at home with our daughter, and all those things are because we have good money habits and are always educating ourselves on more financial knowledge and stuff, because we're young. We probably don't know everything there is to know. I'm reading a book right now. It's blowing my mind. Habits. Building great habits in our 20s has made a huge difference. I say in my 20s, but I'm not 30 yet. I'm 29. I'm almost there. So I think I'm allowed to say building habits in my 20s. Anyways, if you're looking to build really good money habits, you can watch this video right here where I talk about 10 good financial habits to build rather than 10 financial habits that are keeping you poor. Have fun getting rich.